What do you get when you mix a Brazilian farmer with a hot blue alien? Well, you get the hybrid program, or at least a theory about it. Hello, and welcome back. I am Tommy Breakfluid, and today we are talking about the hybrid program. And later on, I will be talking about my experience with a UFO, and yes, I have proof, so stay to the end. The first reported case of an alien abduction comes from Brazil and is a farmer named Antonio Villas Boas. And this is his story. In 1957, Antonio was out plowing a field when he saw a very bright star. He thought that it was weird, so he stopped to watch it. Then the light started to get really close. So he started to run away, like any sane person would do. But then he was grabbed by 3 men. Those 3 men began to drag him towards a craft. And then the men turned out to actually be aliens, and they were blue. But when they had him on the craft, they left the room, and a blue female humanoid came in. And let me tell you what, Antonio claimed that she was very hot.
Nice.
And the two of them canoodled for a while. During that, she was nibbling his chin, like how normal people do that. Definitely not strange at all. Once the deed was done, she rubbed her belly and then pointed to the sky, which Boaz took as she was going to raise their child in space. After the aliens let Antonio go, he got very sick. He had rashes everywhere and lesions, and the investigators that were investigating his abduction confirmed that he was suffering from radiation burns. Now, Boaz was able to recount his whole story from memory. Remember that detail for later. Then, 4 years later, a couple named Betty and Barney Hill, nope, not these hills, these hills. Well, they would go on to break headlines with their story and forever change everything we know about alien abductions. In 1961, the Hills were out driving home from vacation when Betty noticed a falling star. But then she started noticing that it was moving in different directions, which falling stars don't do. So she asked her husband. Barney said that it was nothing but a plane, so they just left it at that. But they would soon truly see what it was. After it made movements that planes just could not do, they got out of their car to watch it. But it started to get closer to them and was right over their heads. So they got back into their car and started driving away, but then hours had passed that they didn't remember, and they were almost home. Getting home hours later than they were supposed to, Betty then noticed that her dress was torn at the zipper, and there was pink dust all over it, which she noted was weird. Betty then started having dreams about humanoids, asking questions, and doing experiments on them. She then reached out to investigators to tell her story. It was around that time that Barney also noticed that he had a perfect circle of warts around his area, and later he had to get them surgically removed. Then a couple years had passed, living in fear of what happened that night. So they went to go get hypnotized and see if their subconscious knew what happened that night. It was in hypnosis that the whole story of their time gap came out. That night, 3 humanoids came and took them into their craft, and Betty remembers them doing experiments and sticking a needle into her navel, and the aliens told her that it was a pregnancy test.
I don't know why they put that long needle into my navel. I tried to tell them they shouldn't do it. But
did they make any sexual advances to you?
no.
They didn't.
No. I asked the leader, I said, why did they stick the needle in my navel? And he said it was a pregnancy test. And I said, well, I don't know what they expected, but that was no pregnancy test here.
They then showed Betty a star map, and she was able to recreate it in hypnosis. But the star map did not contain any known stars. That was until 1969, when a school teacher named Marjorie Fish started to construct a model of planets that could contain life, and viewing them from all different angles. She then discovered that Betty's map was a perfect map of the Zeta Reticulum system. But the thing is that 2 of the stars in that system were not discovered when Betty drew the map. This led to the 1975 movie, The UFO Incident, starring the legendary James Earl Jones, the freaking voice of Mufasa, and Darth freaking Vader. But remember Zeta Reticulum? because later we will get into the aliens from Zeta Reticuli. Now, a very common experience in alien abduction cases is that the abductees say they either had eggs or sperm taken from them, fertilized, and then put back into the female's womb, only for the fetus to be taken in 2 to 3 months. Now, there are two different thoughts on what aliens want with our reproductive stuff. The first idea is the idea of starseed. Now, what are starseed? Well, they are alien-human hybrids that are sent to our world to bring forth peace, and this process is supposed to start in 2032, which is only a couple years away, so I can't wait. Maybe I'm a starseed. And yes, there are some ways to figure out if you are a starseed, but most of them seem like they apply to everybody, like homesickness or imagining what life is like on other planets. But some of the wild ones are psychic or paranormal abilities. You're into holistic healing. You love conspiracy theories. Bingo, that's me. You're a vegan or vegetarian. Dang it. You can also feel the healing powers of crystals, and apparently you can pick up on nuance, which I'm pretty sure most people can anyway, but whatever. Now, the next theory of why aliens need our baby juices is because aliens from Zeta Reticuli destroyed their gene pool. Now, we all know about life on Zeta Reticuli and how their family tree is basically a circle through years of inbreeding and cloning. So their best solution is to come to Earth, because apparently they are human. They're just on a different timeline or dimension or universe. I don't understand all of that. But they take some random farmers, stealing their seed and telling them that they're special, and modifying the genetics of the child to fit their way of living. But what you may not know is that Zeta Reticuli, or better known as the Greys, are lying and are not giving us starseed. They're just taking our sweet, sweet love goose to replenish their population and don't plan on helping us at all. They are just a bunch of jerks. But Tommy, you might ask, how do you know so much about aliens? Well, I will tell you, my friend. It is all written in this book right here, The Extraterrestrial Species Almanac, written by Craig Campobasso. And we know everything written in books is 100% true. Nobody has ever lied in books, so we have to trust it. Plus, Craig has spent his life talking to abductees and people in contact with the different alien races that he's writing about, because they talk to us, I guess. But they never talk to me, so whatever. I guess I'm not special enough for them. But there are some signs that you might be part of the hybrid program, like we said earlier. Well, some of them are never breaking a bone, surviving freak accidents, your regen stat is through the roof, you feel watched all the time, and you get static shocks more than normal, I guess. And the most interesting one is that you don't have a blood type. But is that even possible? Well, yeah, it is. I didn't know this until looking into this theory, but it is a very rare condition called Bombay blood type. And it is most common in India, where about 1 in 10,000 people have it. But in Europe, it affects 1 in 1 million. So how Bombay blood type works is there are 3 different antigens in your blood. There's A antigen, B antigen, and H antigen. Now, A blood type has A antigen and H antigen. B blood type has B and H antigen. A B blood type has A and B and H antigen. And O blood type just have the H antigen. That's how they can donate to everybody. But people with Bombay blood type don't have the H antigen, which you need for all of the blood types. So the only way to get a blood transfusion is by finding somebody else with the same disorder. But how likely is it that people with Bombay blood type are starseed? Well, it's not likely at all, considering the US has the most amount of alien abductions and India has very few of them. And if people with Bombay blood type were part of the hybrid program, then we would see most abductions happening in India. Now, my whole feeling on the hybrid program is not very good. There's not nearly enough evidence to support it. All the evidence we have is just eyewitness testimony. There is no tangible evidence for this theory. So I cannot believe it. But now I will tell you about the time I saw a UFO, and yes, I do have a video. So I was camping with my family, and it was probably around 9 o'clock or so. I was sitting on the beach alone. I heard 3 muffled sonic booms, like a boom, 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 really quietly. Then probably about 5 minutes later, I noticed 3 yellow orbs start to rise in the sky. They hovered there for like 5 minutes or so. I had no idea what I was looking at. I didn't realize that it could have been a UFO. I just thought whatever. Some guy further down the beach said that they look like flares, but I've never seen flares act like this when I was doing research trying to figure out what I saw. They then blinked out one at a time, which was super weird. But it was not like a flare where it just goes out. It was blinking, like it blinked out and then blinked back in and then blinked out and then just kept doing that and getting dimmer and dimmer until it was just gone. Then about 40 minutes later, the sun had set and they came back. I heard the 3 sonic booms again and they rose up, and I did get another video. And my entire family has also seen these on separate occasions in the same exact spot. But I didn't realize what they were until my dad said they were possibly a UFO. And once I heard that, I got really paranoid. It didn't help that I was sleeping on a hammock on the beach right where I saw them, but I honestly thought that the government or the aliens were going to come and take me in my sleep. But if you know what these lights are, please leave a comment and tell me what you think they are. And if you like the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day. Bye.